Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on Toned In Entertainment, where we love pop culture. It's time to continue with our look back, I guess, at what can best be described as the I Know series, the I Know What You Did Last Summer movies. Now, while I really did enjoy the first one, it's time to look at I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Now, do we really want to remember this movie, or do we just want to forget it like 2020 altogether? The movie stars once again Jennifer Love Hewitt as Julie James and Freddie Prinze Jr. as Ray Bronson, and introduces to the series Brandy as Karla Wilson, Mekhi Phifer as Tyrell, Matthew Settle as Will Benson, Jack Black as Titus, and was directed by Danny Cannon. Now it's 1 year later since Julie and Helen's friends were slayed by the hook fisherman, and Julie's now off to college, but she's still having these horrible nightmares of the hook fisherman that terrorized her last summer. Now Julie's BFF here in the movie, Karla, wins a radio contest, and her prize is 4 all-inclusive tickets to the Bahamas. So Karla takes her boyfriend Tyrell, and since Julie and Ray have been having a little bit of trouble, Karla decides to invite the school hunk, the guy that Julie kind of has a crush on, Will. Now once Julie's on the island, bodies begin to hit the floor, or in some cases start tumbling in the dryers, as Julie's least favorite fisherman of all time, Ben Willis, has come to join in some summer vacation fun. Now we do get some backstory as to why the fisherman has brought Julie and her friends to this particular resort on this particular island. It was years ago. The fisherman, Ben Willis, he suffered a family tragedy, so he's back for revenge. Not only on Julie and her friends on what they did to him last summer, but also on the hotel people who he holds responsible for the family tragedy. One of the things I really liked about the first movie is that the fisherman, he played mind games with everybody, so he kind of had them all kind of turning against each other. But here in this movie, he's only set on playing mind games with Julie, which in turn makes her look just completely crazy to the rest of her friends. Now we meet some very weird and bizarre characters, but none are more weird than Jack Black's character, Titus, who I can best describe as he's a real candidate for High Times Magazine Man of the Year. Now, I'm sure when the writers created this character, they wrote him out as like a comic relief character, but this character is just bland and annoying and creepy, and you'll actually be cheering when the fisherman puts his hook in him. Now there is an interesting plot twist here in this movie as we find out that Julie's date for the weekend, Will, is actually, dun-da-da, the fisherman, Ben Willis's son. So he's been in on it the entire time. He was the radio DJ that called them and told them that they won the free tickets, so he's been in on it the entire time. So it really is like father like son here. Now, do I recommend you guys checking out I Still Know What You Did Last Summer? Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give this movie a 4. It's not very fun or interesting. It's definitely below average. And coming off the first movie, I really liked the characters and how well they gelled together. But here, the dialogue, the characters, the setup, the story, the plot, it's all just mediocre. It's pretty bad here. And I do not recommend checking this movie out. Even if you love the first one, just take in the first one and pretend like the second one doesn't even exist. Now, I remember when this movie was announced to come to theaters, and yes, I did check it out in theaters, and I was pretty much disappointed back then, but even here, over 20 years later, I'm still disappointed at this movie. Now, after going back and rewatching the first movie, yeah, it has some like little plot holes and some things that don't make sense, but here, this movie, it's just a stinker. It's not very good. The characters, Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr., who I really liked in the first movie, they're not good at all, and neither is the rest of the cast. The writing is terrible. The plot just doesn't make any sense. The only thing good is that little plot twist with the son and the father being in on it together, but other than that, there's nothing else really redeemable about I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Now, while the second movie in the franchise isn't very good and I really can't recommend it to anybody to check it out, you know what? There's still one more chance for them to redeem themselves, and that's with the third and final installment in the franchise, and that's I'll always know what you did last summer. Now guys, I have not seen this movie. I don't know anything about it. I just got it today on my Netflix DVD service, so I am gonna fire it up here and take a look at it and review it and finish up all 3 movie reviews here on the channel. So guys, make sure you're subscribed here to Toned In Entertainment for future videos.
Subscribe to the channel. Do it. Go now. Do it now.